Hey, good morning or good afternoon, whatever time of day it is. But we are here with the special vlogcast, and we had to go ahead and get in touch with the Yavapai County Health Department to find out what is going on. Governor Ducey just laid out the executive order, and we wanted to define it not only for our family in the restaurant industry and also the bar industry. And what does this mean? Are we allowed to dance now? So we have Cecil Newell joining us this morning or this afternoon. Oh my gosh, I keep on forgetting what day it is. I'm just excited, Cecil. Can you tell everybody who you are and what makes you famous in Prescott, Arizona, if that's okay, or Yavapai County at that?
Um, I work for Yavapai County Community Health Services, and I'm the section manager for environmental health. We go out, and my inspectors go out and do routine inspections on restaurants, bars, hotels, playgrounds, school grounds. Um, and swimming pools, in my public swimming pools. So we've got a lot of regulation, and we work with our establishments to make sure everybody's safe.
Okay, so tell me, let me go back into our little side by side. Tell me, Cecil, did you read the executive order that just got put out?
Yes, I have.
Okay, and obviously you guys are the ones that uphold a lot of the laws, and you are the ones that get the phone calls like saying, "Hey, they're not wearing any mask. Can you do something about that?" Where do we stand now, and what is going to be changing for our community as of right now?
What's changing for our communities is instead of making it a mandate, um, it's recommendations now. The state never did make mandates for wearing masks, but it was very strong that if you was a restaurant worker and you were contact face to face with the customers, it was mandated that you wear a mask. Now it's just a recommendations that you do that and you follow CDC's guidelines, social distancing, wear your mask. But the executive order also went kind of took a step back, but they're still allowing the restaurateurs and the businesses to enforce what they think is right. And most of our restaurant operators in Yavapai County try very hard to do what's right and to provide safe food and a safe environment for our citizens as well as our visitors.
Okay, and see, so and in some of this executive order, I feel like there's a little bit, and I hate to say this, a little confusion. Let me go ahead and pull it up real quick so we are all on the same page with this. A little bit of confusion. I personally want everything open, but it seems like in some of these executive orders, it shows that it's kind of like, okay, you're allowed to open up, but you still want to go ahead and utilize the CDC requirements. And let me go ahead and bring this up real quick. Unlike some other states, Arizona issued a statewide. Okay, so mask usage is still encouraged, especially in groups that are not vaccinated. And as we said, a long distribution of the vaccine is our best path to getting there. And brief synopsis, what I was actually reading, I will go ahead and put that up in a short while, is that the idea of being able to go into these locations, is there still a need to do social distancing inside of these locations? I'm knowing that 100% capacity is what we're looking at now, and dancing, obviously.
Um, it's a good idea to follow the recommendations was set forth by CDC. Um, just because we still have a large population out there who have not been vaccinated and are trying to get vaccinated, and we still have vulnerable populations that are maybe not as immune system is not as good as some of the rest of us, or they haven't had COVID yet. So it's still recommended that we take personal responsibility to protect ourselves as well as our neighbors. You know, I'm hopeful that we get back to normal real soon, but we won't know normal until we get there.
Okay, so what are you looking for as far as restaurants right now? As far as like the new executive orders that just put out, what is going to change on your guys' process and the way that you take in calls for people that are wanting to, I guess, report? What is changing and how is it going to be for the restaurants and the bars in our area?
Since this all started, we did mostly education and we did enforcement through education. Um, and the state did enforcement, if need be, on establishments that refused to do the state mandate. Um, but luckily, we have not had very many of them who have gone through that process. So even now, when we have complaints or we have concerns, we educate the citizens and we educate the restaurateurs. But the restaurateurs, they've been doing this for the while, and they're here to do what's right. And and that's to protect your customers as well as yourself.
Okay, excellent. This is a huge turnaround. I feel like this actually, giving us the green light to open up and feel a little bit more free to be kind of like who we used to be, enjoying people, enjoying food. And as of right now, it seems to me is that the actual 50% capacity in restaurants has been abolished. You can now go to full capacity. Do they have to have the 6 foot separation of tables? Is that still a requirement?
As of today, it's not a requirement to have your 6 foot distancing. But if you go into a restaurant and you look at the dining area and the capacity, what they have written according to fire, at 6 foot distancing is more restrictive than the 50%, at least in our restaurant, in most of our restaurants. So that really hasn't changed until now. And now it's just a recommendation that you do the 6 foot distancing. We have a lot of businesses that they still they use plexiglass instead of 6 foot distancing, like a few of the restaurants have in our local area. So, but it's just a recommendation. So we're still doing the education, and we're still encouraging people to be responsible. But this allows us to be not so fearful of what is here, what has occurred in the past, and where we're going in the future. We're getting a handle on it, and we need to start thinking about it's time to be social animals like we always are.
Yes,
Go out
Cecil, that's
and
what I'm talking
reach
about.
people. You know,
So we have a couple questions coming in. One of the biggest things that I've felt like, oh my gosh, the condiment section and our salsa. Can we go back to having an open salsa bar? Can we go back to like actually utilizing these things that we are so known to use? And do we have to have the ketchup packets still? Does any of that change as far as these new executive orders that come out?
yes, it changes, but it's still, as responsible citizens, we still need to follow that recommendations of CDC's what they put forth. Um, if you when this first came out and the bars were closed and then they were allowed to reopen if they served food, I went out and talked to some of the bar owners in downtown Prescott Row, and if they want to dance, there's nothing that says they can't sit in their seat and wave their arms in the air like they don't care. So that's you can still dance in your seat and have fun, but let's try to be responsible and until we get the all clear, let's try to maintain some of that distancing and wearing a mask. And I know we want to be social and we want to go out and have fun, but there's still recommendations, and we don't want to make anybody sick, and God forbid we don't want to cause anybody to become deathly ill with this.
Let me go ahead and give you a brief statement that the mayor of Prescott Valley has set out. The governor just released an executive order lifting all previous COVID-19 mask orders as well as limited capacity for events. This order also prevents any town or city to order or require businesses to comply with wearing masks. So what does this mean? It means that the service industry, such as bars and restaurants, do not need to have servers and bartenders wear masks. Is that true?
Yes, sir. Very much
Okay.
true.
Dancing, karaoke, working out in the gym is allowed at any capacity. Is that true? Sorry,
That
I'm putting everybody on the spot, so we all transparent.
yeah, that basically true, but they still are recommending that you follow CDC's recommendations.
Unless the actual bar owners or establishment says something different, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
You
here's
know,
go ahead. Do you have something to say? Because I have more.
no, go ahead.
Okay,
I'm
so
open.
the next one is plastic dividers are not required at a point of sale locations.
That is correct because
Okay.
it's not required no more.
Okay, excellent. Events of any size are now allowed with no restrictions.
Correct.
Okay. And then obviously he comes in and says, keep in mind, businesses can still require the use of masks for services. And obviously that's correct because that's their place of business. They're allowed to go ahead and do that. Is
Yes, sir.
that okay? So once again, everybody, if you're out there and you walk in and you're like, man, they said it was out, but they still have the right to go ahead and serve you in that business. So be respectful on that level. Some of the businesses I do, are probably going to still require these, unfortunately. And anyways, it says, let's do our part to celebrate an official move by the state to recognize that we are going back to normal by shopping locally and being generous to all the service industry people. Cecil, I appreciate you so much. Is there anything that you want to share with everybody? Maybe give a brief synopsis of what has transpired in the past year and how difficult your job was and how well you maintained order. Is there anything that you want to share? Is there anything that you want to say?
Uh, to begin with, we had a little bit of pushback by a few establishments, but as more education came forth and more issues were occurring on a regular basis, most of establishments realized this is for the better good that we follow these mandates and recommendations. We are social animals, and we need to get back to that in order for our social health to become better. Because if not, we're all going to go nuts off the rail, if you will, uh, jokingly. But we are social animals, and we need to get back out, and we need to participate and have that communication with each other face to face and enjoy life. And we can still do that and still do respectful to people's health conditions and what they see in through their eyes. I've in the business that I'm in, I have establishments that are extreme COVID, and then I have the other side, extreme non-COVID. But we got to kind of work in the middle so we can all meet in that happy middle and be respectful, not yell at anybody because they're not wearing masks. Don't yell at anybody because they are. Be respectful, be safe, and let's go back to social and being enjoying life.
Right on, C. So I appreciate you getting on with us, and I know it's last minute. Hopefully, the you guys over there knew that you're going to be coming on this morning. I know that I put in the headline interview, and so I am so thankful. And a lot of the people that are following are really honestly in tune with this because it's like that light at the end of the tunnel. It makes me feel so good to be, a part of our community because I feel like the way that we have established our stuff, it's in order for us to like move on. It's been a year, man. One of the things that I really hate not seeing anymore is people's smiles. So I'm so looking
Yes.
forward to seeing that. I so am. So, anyways, with that being said, I know that you have a lot to do. You probably got a lot of education to go ahead and brush up on all the new things that we're going back to normal with. So I will let you go. But if anybody needs to go ahead and get a hold of you, is there a proper avenue or a way to go ahead and make that happen?
Yeah, I can give them my office line, my direct line, if they want to talk directly to me, or they can go to the internet. Um, my direct line is area code 928-442-5333. 5492. And if I don't answer, please leave a message and I will return phone calls. I am going on vacation 1st of April for a few days to go out and do some R&R and
Do
enjoy
it.
myself. But I
Do
want to
it.
give a shout out to our director, Leslie Horton. She has done a fantastic job and she's so excited about us trying to get back to being social and to seeing people smile, as you said.
Yeah.
She's excited and she's done an extremely well job of keeping everybody informed and educated through the media and also through our elected officials.
Right on, man. Well, I appreciate it once more. Before you don't leave, we're going to go ahead and roll out of this little segment. But once again, I appreciate you, everybody out there. If you guys are in need of any questions, feel free to go ahead and message us. We'll go ahead and try to get Cecil or the powers to be to answer those questions that you have. As of right now, I feel very much happy to go ahead and be a part of something. And I swear, it's like a dancing moment where, and it's no pun intended. The who put it out? Birdcage. Yeah, there we go. The Birdcage put out says, "Hey, guess what? Dancing is back." So I feel so happy right now. Thank you once again, Cecil. Stay here. I want to chat with you a little bit more after this, but thank you guys for tuning in for this special broadcast. We'll see you later.